This big, beautiful bill is advancing through a committee, and let's go over that. Let's spend 10 minutes on that. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's rock.
Fox and Friends first here on a Monday morning. I'm Todd Pyro.
And I'm Carly Shimkus. Lawmakers are now one step closer to delivering on President Trump's agenda after the House Budget Committee advanced the mega bill late last night in a very narrow vote.
Madeline Rivera live in Washington with the latest. Hey, Maddie.
Good morning, Carly and Todd. This is a victory for now for the supporters of the big, beautiful bill, allowing the legislation to head to the Rules Committee later this week. But some GOP hardliners indicate the bill is still going to need changes before it clears the House. The House Budget Committee's vote to advance the bill is a turnaround after 4 GOP hardliners rejected it on Friday. Some of their concerns included Medicaid work requirements and spending. House Speaker Mike Johnson said there were a lot of conversations over the weekend to try and address these issues. The final tally overnight was 17-16, with the holdouts voting present, which is essentially a refusal to take sides. It lets the bill move forward.
Look, all 11 of our committees have wrapped up their work, and they spent less and saved more than even we projected initially. You're going to have historic savings for the American people, historic tax relief for American workers, historic investments in border security, at the same time that we're restoring American energy dominance.
As for what type of assurances these holdouts got, they include speeding up the timeline for those Medicaid work requirements and reducing some of the green energy tax subsidies under the Biden administration. But the committee chair says there were no actual changes to the bill before the vote.
I didn't make any commitments other than the commitment to call another vote to give them the opportunity to allow this to move to the next phase in the process. I can tell you there were no changes. We voted on the same roll-up of all the reconciliation bills from the respective committees that we considered on Friday with no changes on it.
Representative Ralph Norman, one of the fiscal hawks, says they got assurances in writing. Representative Chip Roy warning on X the bill still does not meet the moment. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt will hold a press briefing at 9 a.m. Eastern time today. We will see what she has to say about this bill.
All right, let me switch over to CNBC because I want to look at it from a financial perspective. And there's another part of this that I want to talk about. Moodys downgraded the United States of America's credit rating. And so we're going to deep dive into that in a minute also. Let's go into CNBC's take on this.
House Republicans are moving ahead with their push to advance President Trump's agenda following a stumble late last week. Emily Wilkins joins us right now with the latest and a lot of late night hours. Emily.
There are a lot of late night hours, Becky, and there is some more to come this week. But the big headline today is that Trump's mega bill and that tax package, it cleared yet another hurdle after a weekend of intense negotiations between Republican leadership and fiscal hawks. But at this point, Trump mega bill, it still lacks the support to be able to pass in the House. The 4 Republicans who blocked the bill on Friday, they just haven't gotten to yes as of last night. Congressman Chip Roy, Ralph Norman, Andrew Clyde, and Josh Brecheen, they all voted present, so they allowed the bill to pass. But if the holdouts were making a statement there that they want to see more of the cuts to clean energy tax credits and cuts to Medicaid start sooner than the timeline sets out in the current bill. The House Freedom Caucus also released a statement last night saying that as written, the bill continues increased deficits in the near term with possible savings years down the road that may never materialize. The statement goes on to say that even after negotiations, the bill fails to actually honor our promise to significantly correct the spending trajectory of the federal government and lead our nation towards a balanced budget.
So let me tell you what this means. And then I want to go over into the Moody's downgrading of the U.S.'s perfect credit rating, because that's something that we have to talk about. All right. So essentially what this means is that, first of all, what it means is that Democrats aren't doing anything. Democrats are just hanging around. They're doing TikToks. They're becoming content creators. They're going on tour, on the oligarchy tours. They're going on late night talk shows. And so this isn't even a conversation that Democrats are having. They're not participatory in it. Republicans don't even need them to negotiate, but it would be great if they actually did their job and they participated and they did what they was getting paid to do. Now, all that aside, what this really means is there are Republicans that want to advance the bill based off of the idea that we need to invest in America while at the same time doing the necessary cuts to be able to advance the bill and satisfy the American people. There are other Republicans that are saying, well, wait a minute. I understand we are advancing in America, but we're not doing enough in making sure that we're making the cuts that we need so that we can balance the budget effectively. Because what we are basically asking for is a temporary increase in the debt limit so that we can spend more money incentivizing companies and investing in America versus just having a balanced budget. So we want to invest to make more money so that long term we'll generate more revenue and we pay down the debt faster. That is the pitch from some Republicans. Other Republicans are saying, and that is the pitch from Trump also. Other Republicans are saying, wait, we not doing enough to cut more so that we limit the spending and we maybe don't even need to really increase the debt limit as much as we say that we are. So that is the real fight that is happening amongst Republicans, okay? Republicans are trying to determine how much money that we need to spend and what cuts do we still need to make. Democrats aside, we all know that they just want to spend, and they want all of these social programs. And we do plan on getting into social programs in a couple segments of the show. But that is the fight amongst Republicans is, are we making the right investments? Are we cutting enough? And is this going to satisfy our constituents that ultimately are the people that picked us to be representatives inside of the committee in the first place? All right. The other side of this that we have to have a conversation about is Moody's credit rating. Let's talk about it.
Moodys has lowered the United States credit rating because of an increase of government.
And I always like to use different platforms. So we use Fox Business, we use CNBC, and then we go over to CNN and MSNBC. And we hope that they give a fair assessment of the situation and reporting the news and not just giving their opinion or being able to separate both. But that has no bearing on it. We just want the information and we want to speak to it. Let's talk about it.
Debt. Let's get right now to NBC's Christine Romans, who covers business. Christine, what can you tell us and how
That's not what it means. Antoine Johnson, that's not what it means. Downgraded credit rating means you can't borrow no more money. Good. No, that's not what it means. Come on back to the front of the congregation. I need you to learn how government works. I need you to understand how credit works. It's not what it means. It means that you pay more on the interest for the debt that you already have. That's what it means. It means you pay more on the interest of the debt that you already have, which also factors into why Trump is putting so much pressure on Jerome Powell. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Come on, y'all. Let's get up to speed.
Significant might this be?
Yeah, lowering it by one notch. And here's the problem. The problem is the amount of debt the United States holds and the deficits that the U.S. government consistently runs. And Moody's saying over the past decade, this situation has gotten worse. And in fact, the ability to pay interest on that debt is a real problem. Forecasting that you'll see what's called a debt to GDP ratio of something like 134%. That's bad. These are big debt numbers. So really kind of a warning saying that other countries of the United States' size and financial stability do not have this kind of a debt, but noting that the United States is still the most sought after place to invest money and to, the Treasury Department to Treasury bonds, still the most sought after investment in the world. So it's sort of like going from an A+ to an A, I think, with the warning that things could get worse down the road if Congress doesn't take this seriously.
So essentially what this is a warning to the people that are controlling the purse strings of the United States of America. Let me say it again. This is a warning to the people that are controlling the purse strings of the United States of America. Who controls the purse strings of the United States of America? Congress. So while they are mad at Elon Musk for creating the Department of Government Efficiency to make sure that we eliminate the fraud, waste, and abuse, Moody's is sending a warning to Congress and saying, listen, we have to, over the next few years, at least over the next 3 to 8 years, make sure that we are taking care of business and that we are not overspending or we're putting the United States of America on a path to solvency and lowering the national deficit. Why? Because we're already spending $1 to $2 trillion in interest payments. That has nothing to do. That means when we pay our tax dollars and you create this budget and we put this budget together and we got to fund the military and we got to fund all the police and the universities and all of this stuff, while they're saying, no, just leave everybody on the tax rolls, Moodys and credit rating agencies are saying, Congress, control your hoe. Congress, control your hoe. Eric D says, Anton, which party controls Congress? Well, Republicans now control all three branches of government, and this is why when Trump was elected, it was important for us to give Congress, give our House, give all three branches of government to be able to pass these bills through so that we can do whatever it is that we need to do. Now, within the last 4 months, well, not even the last 4 months, within the last 4 months, Republicans now control Congress. But the rating is not based off of who controls Congress. The ratings is based off of what we've experienced over the last 20 years. Our ability to pay off debt or to pay down the debt or to service our debt is the responsibility of the Congress that we've elected over the past 20 to 30 years. So we can say, okay, well, Republicans control Congress now. That's right. And that's why we elected them, to solve for this problem that we've had and that we got going on for a long time. But here's my real question for you guys. Why didn't we have a Department of Government Efficiency before? I heard Jasmine Crockett say before, well, we already have a watchdog group to make sure that we audit Congress or we audit our spending and all of this stuff. So why didn't they do it? Why didn't they do it? What am I reaching for? What am I reaching for? What did I say that wasn't true? Which part of what I said wasn't true? That's the goal, is to fix it, Eric D. That's why we say America is closed for business. We don't want to send any money over to other countries. We should not be funding proxy wars and sending weapons and funding over to Ukraine. This is why it's important for us to have peace throughout the world and have better trade deals, because all of it is coming out of American taxpayer dollars, and we need to make sure that we eliminate our debt, pay down our debt, operate at a surplus instead of a deficit, so that we can then get a higher upgrade, which lowers our ability, or it raises our ability to pay off the debt by lowering our interest rate. And it allows for us to be solvent as the United States of America, so that our children and our children's children will have a better future. What is it that I'm off about? What we're basically saying is we want our taxpayer dollars and we want accountability for where every dollar is going, and we need to cut spending and we need to raise income. That's what's basically happening. And we got to do it for the generations that come after us. We can't just do it for us. We got to do it for the generations that come after us. We got to leave this place in a better space than had we been here. It's not really that difficult of a thing to put together. It's the same thing that your credit is. If you got less than a 740, 750, your interest rates is going to be higher. If you get less than a 670, then it's going to go higher. And if you go less than a 540, 550, then you're going to be a subprime borrower. We got to lower the amount that we spending on stuff that we don't need and increase the investments in the thing that's going to generate us more revenue. That's basically what it is. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.